but niggas don't know how to act.
Now, I'm pretty sure some of y'all will disagree with my list. Some of you probably will agree because, when it comes to making lists like this, it's very subjective because people have their own conflicting opinions about who isn't the greatest MC, about who is, but that's just what makes hip hop so great because you can have long hour debates about, what's the greatest album or, who's the greatest of all time. So if you disagree, that's okay because, you can make your own top 10 list. But for my 10 list of rappers, I won't be just listing them based on their skills as an MC, but also based on their longevity, their cultural impact and influence, and their work ethic. So without further ado, let's get started. But before I do that, here's some honorable mentions. Snoop Dogg, Andre 3000, Ghostface Killah, Big Pun, Kool G Rap, Big L, and Big Daddy Kane. Now let's start the list. Number 10, Ice Cube. As one of the true pioneers of gangster rap, Ice Cube first gained infamy as the primary songwriter and member of the legendary rap group NWA, which features the likes of Dr. Dre and the late great Eazy-E. The group were known to be very controversial, but yet very impactful, especially when it came to the release of their debut album, Straight Outta Compton, which is definitely one of hip-hop's most important releases to date. After leaving the group over money issues in 1989, Ice Cube would successfully pursue a solo career. After that, from 1990 to 1993, Ice Cube would be on a roll, as he made a minimum of 4 classics each year, from America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, The Predator, as well as Lethal Injection. While it wasn't well received as the first 3, it's pretty solid in my opinion. Not only did Cube prove that he could succeed in his music career while going solo, but also an acting career as well, especially when it came to movies like Boys in the Hood and Friday. And after being in the rap game for over 30 plus years, Ice Cube proves that he's still one of the best rappers alive. Number 9, Scarface. Now, Scarface has to be one of hip-hop's most respected MCs because I gotta say, the respect people have for this man is so undeniable. JayZ has him in his top 5, Big Crit has cited him as a huge influence on his career, and even legendary comedian Chris Rock has declared Scarface as the GOAT. What makes Scarface so legendary is that he's definitely one of the rappers who helped put southern hip-hop on the map and paving the way for such as the likes of Outkast, UGK, Ludacris, T.I., and many others. From being a Ghetto Boys member and as a solo artist, Scarface probably has the best and most consistent discographies out of any other rapper out there. I mean, seriously, this man has a shitload of classics. From Mr. Scarface is Back, The Diary, which is arguably his best album to date, to The Untouchable, The Fix. Even his previous album, Deeply Rooted, showed that Scarface still got it. And after looking at his resume and all of his accomplishments, it proves that Scarface is definitely one of the greatest.
Number 8, LL Cool J. Ever since bursting on the scene of hip-hop in 1984 at the young age of 16, Mr. James Todd Smith, better known as LL Cool J, came in as a young, confident, hard-hitting, streetwise b-boy with ballistic rhymes and spare beats. Pretty much LL Cool J was the first ever rap superstar when he became one of the first rappers to break through in the mainstream when hip-hop at the time was relatively underground. What also makes LL Cool J a legend in hip-hop was when he made the first ever hip-hop love song with his hit single I Need Love, making him the first rapper to cater to the female demographic, which made the ladies love Cool James. But not only did the ladies love him, men also wanted to be him. With his first 2 LPs, Radio and Bigger and Deafer, making him a superstar, LL Cool J really seemed to have the world at his feet. And although his 1989 release, Walking with the Panther, was considered a dud by critics, the next year LL Cool J then struck back with his comeback album, Mama Said Knock You Out, which is easily his best album to date. Over the years, LL Cool J would continue to bless us with albums like Mr. Smith, which produced 3 of his biggest singles, Hey Lover, Doing It, and Who Do You Love. With this, LL Cool J had proven that rappers could have long-term careers. After looking at all his contributions to hip-hop, LL Cool J proves that he's truly a hip-hop phenomenon.
Watch your mouth, don't ever step out of line. LL Cool J, greatest of all time.
Number 7, KRS-One. KRS-One, better known as The Teacher, is a true mastermind, a poet amongst other MCs who has engaged the spirit and the mind of a hip-hop enthusiast. The Bronx native would first get his start in the rap game back in 1986 along with the group Boogie Town Productions, which featured the likes of D-Nice and the late great Scott LaRock. But after Scott LaRock's tragic death back in '87, KRS-One would then pursue a solo career, where he would shift to a more political and conscious style to his rap. After that, for the next 30 plus years, he would go on to release a handful of great albums, from All By Means Necessary, Sex and Violence, The Blueprint of Hip Hop, Return of the Boom Bap, his self-titled album, and many more. With his remarkable resume, KRS-One proved that he's not just one of the most influential MCs of all time, but he also proved to be in a historical significance. Say what you want about his personality, but there's no denying that he's definitely one of the greatest MCs to ever pick up a microphone, especially when it comes to his natural flow, lyricism, and egotism.
Number 6, JayZ.
To keep it 100 with y'all, I don't like JayZ. I don't like Sean Corey Carter at all. However, I'd be a total dumbass if I was denying his immense impact on hip-hop for over the past 2 decades.
I mean, seriously, since 1996, this dude's been killing it. From dropping classic albums from Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, and The Black Album, and even 14 of his albums charting at #1 on the US Billboard 200. The fact that he's been that one rapper who's been at the top and remained at the top for this long just shows how unstoppable he really is. Not to mention the fact that he's been responsible for the careers of artists like Kanye West, J. Cole, and even Rihanna.
From being one half of hip-hop's biggest power couple along with wifey Beyonce, from being the rapper with the most Grammys in a total of 22, to being a successful businessman, and his remarkable discography pretty much solidifies Hov as a living legend. And although as much as I dislike JayZ, one thing I do gotta admit, he's definitely one of the best. Number 5, Rakim. Now, Rakim is probably the closest thing hip-hop has ever gotten to a god. He's well regarded as one, if not the greatest MC to ever pick up the mic. And I gotta say, this man right here is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. I mean, seriously, from the likes of M, Nas, Jay, Big, and even Pac as well, have praised and cited Rakim as a huge influence in all of their careers, so that pretty much says it all. His work with Eric B is so revolutionary in hip-hop, especially when it came to the releases of their first 2 albums, Paid in Full, which is an instant classic, as well as Follow the Leader. What makes Rakim so legendary in hip-hop is that he pretty much is the pioneer of internal rhyme schemes. You see, way before there was Rakim, rhymes and rap songs were very basic and very predictable. But that all changed in 1986 when 18-year-old Rakim introduced internal rhyme schemes on the track Eric B is President. But overall, Rakim was definitely a huge game changer and is the main reason why many rappers exist to this very day. Number 4, the Notorious B.I.G. While his life was tragically cut short at the age of 24 via drive-by shooting, but his legacy lives on. From 1994 to his death in 1997, Biggie truly was the king of New York, and there's no doubt about it. Out of all rappers, Biggie definitely had the best flow of them all, because I gotta say, his flow was unlike any other. If you don't believe me, go listen to the tracks like 10 Crack Commandments and Juicy, where he perfected his flow. But not only that, Biggie was definitely one of the most finest lyricists, because of the way how he'd string rhymes together, while making it sound extremely smooth at the same time in tracks. Biggie was also an amazing storyteller because of the way how he'd paint vivid pictures in your mind to make it feel like you were there to witness it. Plus, 2 of his albums, Ready to Die and Life After Death, are instant classics, which would both go on to go multi-platinum. Sure, Biggie didn't have enough material after his death, maybe because he only sold 2 albums, or 3 if you count Born Again, but there's no denying how much of a raw and powerful rapper he was. Number 3, Nas. In 1991, a young prodigy named Nasir Ben Oludar Jones bursted on the scene of hip-hop, where he got featured on a track titled Live at the Barbecue, where he spat an outstanding 16-bar verse. From there, Nas's talent sparked a frenzy, which would forever cement his status as a hip-hop legend in the making. 3 years later, Nas would then release his debut album, Illmatic, which is without a doubt the greatest hip-hop album of all time. While it wasn't a commercial success at all, it received universal acclaim for its lyrical content and Nas's unique storytelling abilities. 2 years later, Nas would then bless us with another classic with It Was Written. And while it was pretty divisive at the time of its release, it's definitely his most commercially successful album to date. But when he took more of a pop direction with I Am and Nostradamus, which is easily his worst album to date, Nas kind of started falling off artistically. But thankfully, Nas returned to his roots with his comeback album Stillmatic, which is definitely one of his classics. And from there, Nas would then continue to produce a large body of work from God's Son, The Lost Tapes, Street's Disciple, Hip Hop Is Dead, Life Is Good, and much more. What differs Nas from most rappers is that when it comes to lyricism, he's definitely the pinnacle of what a lyrical rapper should be. Nas has also inspired some of these new school rappers you see out here today, from K-Dot, J. Cole, Logic, and many others. The pictures that he always painted with his lyrics, the way he flows and tells the stories through his songs were just outstanding, which proves that Nas is without a doubt the GOAT.
Number 2, Eminem.
Now, when it comes to underdog stories, people love it, which is the main reason why a lot of people love to gravitate to Eminem. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't think M was ever supposed to make it in the hip-hop world. Why, you ask? Because looking at the track records with white rappers in hip-hop hasn't always been the best. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been some pretty good white rappers, like the critically acclaimed rap group the Beastie Boys, and R.A. the Rugged Man, but rappers like Vanilla Ice and Marky Mark, aka Mark Wahlberg, made it corny to be a white rapper. But once Eminem bursted on the scene of hip-hop, he made it more respectable to be a white rapper. Eminem proved that it didn't matter if he was white, as long as he could freestyle and that he could rap his ass off, that's all that mattered. He also proved that if you fuck with him, he'll lyrically destroy you. I mean, look at Jaro and Benzino, their careers haven't been the same since they beefed with him. Although his first album, Infinite, was a flop, people were very aware of how much of a skilled rapper he is. But once his second album, the Slim Shady LP, was released in February of '99, it took him from being an underground rapper to the mainstream. And after the release of his third album, the Marshall Mathers LP solidified his legendary status, which is widely regarded as one of hip-hop's greatest albums. And what also makes Eminem so great are his hardcore lyrical abilities. I mean, seriously, from his incredible rhyme scheme to his wordplay are just flawless. And when it comes to discussing top lyrical rappers, M is definitely up there with the likes of Rakim, Nas, Big L, Cannabis, and more. And with all of this, Eminem truly proves that he's without a doubt a rap god.
Don't be a retard, be a king. Think not, why be a king when you can be a god?
And the number one greatest rapper in my opinion is Tupac.
Yep, Tupac Amaru Shakur, the greatest rapper of all time. The legend, the icon, the messiah. Now look, call me biased if you will, but I think out of all the rappers on this list, Tupac is definitely the most polarizing one. Now, much like Biggie, his life was tragically cut short, but his legacy lives on. His tireless work ethic and his prolific output is what made him a legend. And the way how he could jump from conscious rap to gangster rap and do it so perfectly well was just amazing, because not a lot of rappers could have done that. I definitely believe that Tupac's work ethic is definitely what solidified him as the GOAT. And the proof with this is that he would make 3 to 4 songs a day and has hundreds of other songs that are still unreleased to this very day. And not only that, a bunch of other albums were sold after his death. From the 7 Day Theory, Are You Still Down, Until the End of Time, Loyal to the Game, and so much more. And with this, it proves that Tupac was a true workaholic. With thug life tatted across his belly, Tupac was a rebel, an anti-establishment force who seemed to be very fearless. Because trust me, you'd have to be a real gangster to have the word thug life tatted across your belly. And if that ain't gangster, then I don't know what is. What also makes Pac so legendary was his heartfelt work, where tracks like Brenda's Got a Baby, Changes, Do for Love, which is definitely my favorite Tupac song of all time, and Dear Mama showed how Tupac could always find a way to tug at your heartstrings and make you think.
Which is why Tupac is without a doubt, in my eyes, the greatest rapper of all time.
So what do y'all think? Do you guys massively disagree? If so, let me know in the comments down below to see how you guys would rank the 10 greatest MCs of all time. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for weekly videos. I'm your boy Micah J, and peace.